All right, I gotta run.
That's all right.
You brought some bad ones.
It's
didn't
just
you?
a
Be all the way
thing.
down 19, I promise you.
It's just
I was
a
looking
thing.
at
Got my map.
Looking at
Yeah.
the,
Got
Well,
it?
man,
so it looked like it was
I
pushing
got
it
the
right
last
down,
started,
cut
I
it.
was courthouse a
I
day or
left the
two
office, I
ago.
said, I believe, because it looked like it's fixing a storm here, and I said,
Let me tell you something,
I'm traffic going down
Give
there.
me a blank sheet of
I
paper.
got going,
I'm using this right here.
it kept right behind me the whole way.
You better make me a list of all the crap you got going on. Wait a minute, special projects.
Let me tell you something. The hour has come and left.
Well, wait just a minute.
I call this meeting to order, and if you bow your heads, we'll have the invocation. Heavenly Father, let our deliberations and actions on behalf of the city of Hazelhurst be acceptable in your sight. Amen.
Amen.
Let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, you've got a one-source agenda in front of you. Make a motion, here, I entertain a motion that we approve the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Ramey to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor say aye. Our work's cut out for us. Let's proceed. Sir, you're on.
Yes, sir, thank you. First, I want to thank the mayor and council for giving me the opportunity to address you guys tonight. Sorry I brought the bad weather with me. It wasn't intentional, but it just kind of followed me along down the road. My name is James Lanier. I'm the managing partner for Riley Environmental Services. Our location is in Dublin, Georgia, where our home office is. We also have a location in the Macon and Warner Robins area that we service the city of Centerville out of, and several other accounts up in that area. I've given you guys a presentation and a proposal based on some conversations that we've had with some of you on the council and Carl about possibly taking over the garbage service for you for the city of Hazelhurst. I guess what I'm up here to do now is any questions that you may have, anything that you want to ask me, I'm open for it. I've given you a PowerPoint presentation as well, kind of outline a little bit of what we do, where we are, who we are, background on our company, things that I think are important. I could stand up here for an hour and a half and talk about how great our company is, but we've got reference letters and we've got people who you can call and talk to that speak much more loud volumes than I can do. So with that being said, are there any questions that you have, or anything that you want to ask me while I'm here?
Well, my thing, I just have a lot of questions, and as I sit down and get to talk, thinking with them myself about things, because it's a new venture for the city. And once we're into it, if something happens and we have to get out of it,
Yes, sir.
what happens to us then getting back in to handle this service ourselves? As well as, should I ask them all at one time?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm concerned that we live in a small town, that one thing that's really passionate with me is we such a retirement community that we can control the prices that's put on our people. Once we get this out to someone else, how are we sure that the prices does not overwhelm them? Because most of the people in this community is retirement and they living on fixed incomes, and then the businesses are small. How are they not overwhelmed? And how can we control that? Then the employees, I'm definitely concerned that once we put it into private hands, that people that have worked here for so long, and jobs are hard to come by as it is, and I know this is business, but jobs are hard to come by. But what happens to these people that is no longer employed?
Well, I'm glad you asked those questions, because one of the things, the main thing that the cornerstone of our company is we've become a part of the community that we come into to service. We have already committed, and in conversations with the mayor and with Carl, we're going to locate a facility here in Hazelhurst. So we'll be part of the tax base here in Hazelhurst. We will buy our fuel here in Hazelhurst. We will support local businesses here in Hazelhurst. And what we had planned on doing is expanding our operation for this area out of Hazelhurst and make Hazelhurst our hub of operation for this area. To go to the retirement community that you're asking in the price, our contract is unlike any other company that'll come in here and give you any proposals. Our price is fixed for 5 years. There is no guarantee, there is no raise on it, there is no increase on it. The only thing that we ask is a right of petition, because what we want to do is be a partner with the city, and that we want the city to trust us just like we can trust the city. The only things that we come and petition for price increases is if there's a material cost in doing business that goes up, like the landfill suddenly raises due to some federal mandate increase in tonnage. Fuel prices go back up to $5 a gallon or whatever, silly price it was at that one time. Or labor goes up. That's the only times that we come in and we ask for a raise. And you have the ability to say yes or no. I mean, you control that. That's the beauty of franchising this out instead of just letting an open market come in, because you control every aspect of it. It's just like the cable franchise, just like the Georgia Power franchise, all those things that are in place with the cities. The employees, again, being part of the community means that we support the community and we provide jobs for the community. What we look at is we look at increasing the number of employees that we have, because we're going to grow. We've grown astronomically in Dublin. We've grown astronomically in the Houston County market, and we anticipate growing astronomically in this market for 2 reasons. Number one, the other company, I'm not talking bad about them, but they have become very price conscious, where they're gouging a lot of people, in my opinion, on what they charge them for their garbage service. And they have rate increases every 9 months. And I worked for those guys. I worked for that company. I worked for another large garbage company. And out of 20 plus years I have in this business, the one thing I can absolutely say I learned is how not to run a garbage company. Because I want to be a part of the community where I give people a fair price and we do a good job on it. And everybody's happy with what we do. Because, at the end of the day, I want to be able to come down here to a football game. Or I want to be able to come down here and participate in a festival or a function that's going on in Hazelhurst, and people come up and shake my hand and say, "Thank you, James, for what you're doing here." I don't want them to whisper under their voice, under a breath, and say, "There's that SOB that raised my prices." That's not what I'm going to do. As far as offering your employees, Carl and I have talked about it. Not one of your employees is going to lose a job. We want to hire everyone that meets our criteria. And if they don't fall into our criteria, Carl has an option to move them in to pick up the yard waste and those kind of things that you do here. So we're not here to cut people's jobs out. That's not what our function is. And, we take very good care of our employees. I think you can ask any of them. We offer, Christmas bonuses, safety bonuses, all kinds of incentives and stuff for our people that, sometimes it's hard for municipalities to do. And so we feel like we offer as competitive a opportunity for the employees is maybe working for the city.
All of that is in your proposal, and I went through it.
Yes, sir.
But will that be in writing?
Absolutely, it'll be in the contract.
Hazelhurst has a problem that, maybe I'm doing all the talking it look like, but we had businesses come in town,
Yes, sir.
and before you know it, Hazelhurst we know that people won't be talking with you, but they come in town, and as they grow, a lot of times they leave us and they'll go right to Appleton County somewhere else, and they'll take their office out of Hazelhurst. They don't set up with us. They come in to get our money, but they don't stay here.
Well, I'll tell you
And
what,
that bothers me.
I'll tell you another aspect that I'd be glad to put in writing in the contract is that we would maintain an office in Hazelhurst. I'll put it in writing in the contract. I mean, that's how committed we are to this community. I think Carl can tell you, he had an issue when you had your community cleanup here recently. And there were some people wanting to charge you a price for using the roll-off dumpsters. I sent 2 roll-off dumpsters down here from Dublin. You hadn't been billed a penny for them. And you won't be billed a penny for them. That's part of us being part of this community. And that's why it's important too.
how often, oh, cause we dealing with the community,
Yes, sir.
how often, do you have garbage pick up?
We do the exact same schedule, just like you do it now. We're not here to change anything. The only thing we may do is we may shift a day around
Mhm.
in order for it to work into some of our expansion plans. But you'll have garbage service once a week, just like you do now.
And now your truck is gonna be compatible to our streets, there won't be, tandems that would mess up the roads, are they bigger than what we got?
Well, it depends on what the application that we decide to use is, but all our trucks we buy new equipment. We don't have older junky equipment. And the trucks that we use are in use in other places.
Mhm.
If you have a street that is a problem to have a tandem truck to go down, then we won't use a tandem truck on that street.
No, I don't know, I just know I was involved in, buying 2 trucks. And that was one of the main things that they asked, and one of the trucks that, at that time, the supervisor that was here, he was wanting, but they kept telling me, no, Dwayne, that truck is too big to put on your street, it's gonna tear him up. And he didn't get it, but, we got a different type.
Well,
That's
part of the
right.
reason, and I may be speaking out of turn, but Carl can tell you, those single axle trucks don't hold as much. So you need 2 trucks to do the job that 1 truck can do. So you're not really saving money by changing to a single axle truck over a tandem axle truck. There's actually an application that I've even looked at and considered about using down here, where it's called an automated truck, that is a Corrado truck, that has a can on the front of it. And you use the exact same truck to do both commercial and residential. And that eliminates a lot of the truck traffic on your street. So instead of having 2 trucks going down the street picking up trash cans for businesses and then trash cans for residences, you got 1 truck that does the same thing on all of them.
Well, I appreciate it. I guess I'm the one that's just had so many, because I done been bit by 2 things since I've been here. And one of them was a franchise with a certain company, 2 of them. And they said one thing, and then after the years passed, all of a sudden they wanted us to go to the citizens, and I don't think that was fair. And then one of them keeps going up,
Mhm.
and they had a 15 year of doing whatever they wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
And I thought it was good, but when they started going up, then, people can't afford it, and I don't think they've been very good partners, to be honest with you.
Well, I've seen that in the past, and typically, a lot of times, there are a lot of communities in this area that, I won't say fell victim to, but they believed some promises that were made to them when the Crisp County Solid Waste Authority went into effect 20 years ago or so. And a lot of these communities signed up for 25-year contracts, and they can't get out of them. The City of Warner Robins is a perfect example of it. The City of Warner Robins right now is in a contract that has been tried to the Supreme Court twice, and they can't get out of it. And they've got 2 more years on it. That's not what our function is. They don't return anything to the city whatsoever. They're supposed to return some recycling proceeds to the city, but it doesn't happen because they don't recycle. In our contract, if you'll see in our proposal, we're even offering access to the city to have another revenue stream that you currently don't have access to.
Yeah.
These industrial accounts that people come in here and take money out of your community and take it to other places and they don't spend it, we're gonna give 10% of that money back to the city.
You truthfully have made a good proposal compared to what they did. But
Yes, sir.
as long as we got it with the attorney and got it in writing, I don't mean to be the bad man.
No, sir.
I'm the old person on this county, and I done got bit too many
Well,
times.
let me tell you one thing I learned a long time ago, especially in this garbage business. I've worked hard to maintain a good reputation. Some of those letters that are in the back of that presentation there, that PowerPoint, are personal letters of recommendation for me from other places that I did business. Charleston County, South Carolina, Tybee Island, Thunderbolt, those kind of places. I put those in there for one reason. I worked hard for a good reputation in this business for 20+ years. It only takes one time to ruin it. I'm not gonna come up here, I'm not gonna stand in front of you and make a bunch of empty promises. I'll put it all in writing and I'll sign my name to it. And if we can't live up to our end of the contract, then we'll shake hands and we'll walk away and say, thank y'all for the opportunity. But in 20-plus years, I've never had to do that yet, so. And I think, I think that we offer, some fresh ideas
Yeah.
with the city that would help, again, like I said, we want to be a part of this community. I'm excited about it because it gives us a base of operations to expand into other areas. And, where unfortunately people in rural Georgia especially have been, only had one choice when if they wanted to franchise or whatever, and those people have taken advantage of those choices. We feel like we offer it different. Now, somebody can come in here tomorrow and say, oh, I can do it a lot cheaper than that. Well, yeah, sure. But will he hold it for 5 years? Will he guarantee what he's going to do? Will he put his money where his mouth is? Will he show you he wants to be a part of the community? I think we do that.
Hi, are you about through? Okay, go ahead, John.
I'm a young one on the council,
Yes, sir.
not by age, but by experience.
Yes, sir.
And I had some of the same things that Dwayne had covered, that of personnel that you've got. I think I've already talked with Carl, and I understand that most all will be absorbed or will be hired by your company. But you said by your meeting your criteria. If you have pre-existing health issues, will they be eliminated from your criteria?
No, by criteria, I mean driving criteria.
Okay.
If their driving record meets our, and I'm sure with your insurance company, it's probably just as stringent as ours. I always have to say that caveat because, I have run up into cities that had a driver that was driving a garbage truck, didn't have a CDL or had a DUI. I can't absorb those kind of things. So, that's the criteria I'm talking about. It's strictly a safety insurance criteria. That's all I'm working about. Not health insurance, not pre-existing conditions, none of that stuff.
Eric?
I'm good. He came down and gave the proposal, and I talked with Carl and him about a month ago and everything else before he got it all together to come here and everything. And I appreciate Mr. Dwayne asking the questions he did and everything else, so we could have clarity on it and everything. And my understanding, the answers that he's given, the presentation he's given, I think it'll be a good thing for the city of Hazen personally.
Okay, I think this is an item that we need to probably work out among ourselves, but since we are trying to become a family here, we can present it here now. I'm on, and this is something our attorney needs to look at. We own the transfer station. That property belongs to the city of Hazlehurst.
Yes, sir.
That's our property. And it's under contract now with another company.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not sure that I've got it absolutely clear how we terminate that and change and how we handle that. Can anybody, Madam Attorney, do you know where we are in our contract with those folks and what's involved? Have you looked into it, Carl?
No, but I think what he's doing, he wants the transfer station. He don't want to take it away from them right now because that's who the county uses. But if it comes available, he does want to
Well,
get it in the future.
there's a lot of things.
Yeah, he wants to get it in the future. Right now, he's gonna be hauling the garbage to another landfill site. But if that comes available, he does want to rent that. But he also, where he wants to put his trailer that we talked about in your office, Mayor, is at the transfer station over to the side there.
Yeah,
And he
I don't
wants to
have all
rent
that
spot.
clear in my mind, and of course, you and I talked
Right.
about it, and I think I've mentioned it to 2 or 3 of you. I know when we had, within the last, about a year ago, we had a fire out there.
Yes, sir.
And all of a sudden, we were driving, when we got through with our garbage trucks around town, we were driving a long way, carrying garbage that created, and it like scared me to death to think that we would not have that transfer station out there to handle our garbage. That would really cause a heck of a burden on us. So I think we need, of course, that's fine, you've got a good presentation, and I think it's good. It's economically, I don't see how we can hardly turn it down.
Yes.
Just being flat and frank. You're gonna provide the service, or we're gonna bill the customer for the service we're doing at the same price we're billing now.
Yes, sir.
And you're gonna give us a commission back to pay
That's
us
right.
money,
Yes,
and
sir.
we're not gonna have the insurance.
And they also gonna buy the trucks we got now.
We don't have to, we don't have the equipment, we don't have to pay the insurance on the vehicles, we don't have the fuel cost, we don't have all those things it can cost. And you're gonna be able to do it because it just lets me know that you're more efficient than we are, and that's embarrassing to me.
Well, you're not in the garbage business. That's my only business. You have a lot of hats that you have to wear,
It's
Mayor.
embarrassing to me that you can provide the service for the same amount of money that we are and pay us a commission.
Yes, sir.
And that looks bad on us sometimes. But anyway, I think, like Eric says, you've put in the material here and your oral presentation has been good. I think it sounds like, and Carl's convinced me that it's gonna put a extra, I won't say exactly how much money into our pockets, and believe you me, we need it.
Yes, sir.
I think though, while we're here, and I told Bloodworth, he was disappointed he couldn't be here, but he said, now y'all gonna listen and then we're gonna vote on it later. And I said, well, I guess so, we'll see. But I think probably we need to hash out this transfer station, Madam Attorney, and get ourselves in position to know where we are with that.
Well, one thing about the transfer station is we'll continue to utilize it as long as you have an agreement in place with them. At the point in time that agreement changes or goes away or whatever, then we'll take over the transfer station. We'll do whatever we want to work out at that point in time. This is not contingent on the transfer station at all. This is just a hauling of the garbage and picking it up.
I'm known for sometimes speaking a little bit too abrupt, but just as soon as we give you this contract, that thing out there's fixing to blow up, and you know
Well,
that.
and
as
I
I
will
do.
be real honest with you.
And
I've seen that in the past.
I know that too, you don't have to tell me, I already know that. So those are the kind of things that we've got to work out, and we don't have all of them worked out yet.
Yes, sir. Well, I can promise you that the city of Hazelhurst won't have a minute's problem with it either way, because once we pick the garbage up, it's our responsibility. It has nothing to do with y'all worrying about it, where it goes, or anything like that.
Now, Carl, are they picking up the counties, and the counties still got a few of
County's
those,
got their own truck.
got their own trucks, they still running that old truck, that's
Yeah.
still going out there. We get I forget what I meant to look that up, we get a little commission off of that. We pay them a lot more than we get back in commission. But the county, see, right now, we're getting a little override on the county's business too, and there's just some details that we've got to work out before we, I think everybody's pretty much,
That was transferred over one time before, and it was a big deal. And then picking up the trash, if we don't take enough in there, then we start having to pay.
Mhm.
we're gonna have a meeting next Tuesday night, tomorrow night week, with the county commissioners. And, if they'll let me, I'll talk to Keith Carter the next day or two. I want them involved too, see, then we won't be facing this uncertainty, or you won't be facing it either, because you need to know.
Well, the
about
good
it.
thing is we have a relationship with landfills within a workable hauling distance here. We utilize Telfair County, we also utilize Toombs County. So in the event that somebody does want to take their ball and go home, we're not going to be held hostage by anybody. And we don't position ourselves to do that in any market we do business in.
I understand that, but you're gonna be in the same position we were in when that fire happened out there. If you have to haul to McCray every time, you just, this is your one service area in this area. If you have to haul to McCray instead of out there at that transfer station, you've got something you've got to work with there. That's my only problem.
Yes, sir.
That's my only problem.
Well, I can assure you, like I said, the run from here to the Toombs County landfill is not any more than we were doing in other places. Like in Sandersville, I'll give you an example. We pick up some waste in Sandersville. Well, they don't have a landfill in Sandersville. They have a transfer station that's operated by another company that chooses not to allow us to use it. So we can't take it to Lawrence County because Lawrence County has a ordinance that they can't take out of county waste. So we either have to bring it down to Toombs County or to Telfair County. So we're used to those kind of hauls, and we kind of build that in when we're looking at what we're doing. So I don't like to have that. And you mentioned, since we're talking about the transfer station, to be honest with you, that's one of my goals. Is I would like to take that transfer station over. I would like to utilize it as our hub.
Me too.
Because I've got other places. Right now, Houston County would love to have the waste. And, Houston County landfill's not a bad run, right up 341. I can take you up there and show you right now. Those people are looking.
But you'd still use the transfer station,
Absolutely.
but then do the same thing they're
Yeah,
doing.
do the exact same thing they're doing.
These details need to be worked out at the beginning,
Yes.
for your success, in my opinion.
Yes. Well, like I said, this is strictly for the collection and hauling contract. This has nothing to do with the land, with the transfer station. This doesn't have even a disposal location in it. So it's up to me to dispose of it once I pick it up. And I can assure you, we will be fine if we do have to haul it somewhere else. Even if they close that transfer station down and decide not to use it at all, it won't cause a
Well, I
problem.
hope that doesn't happen.
Well, I do too, because I'll be honest with you, it could really be an asset to what we're trying to do here in this community.
Do you require a household to recycle?
We don't require it. We help with any recycling effort that is put up. As a matter of fact, I used to, one of the contracts I was in charge of was Somerville, South Carolina. And Somerville had, I want to say it was like 19,000 homes. And they had one of the highest participation rates in recycling, anywhere over about 80% of their households recycle. And we did a lot of work with education in the schools and education with that, where I went and spoke to a lot of elementary schools and gave them some information on recycling to promote that. But right now, you guys have one of the best opportunities to recycle I've ever seen in South Georgia. South Georgia's problem is we don't have the infrastructure to recycle. We can collect it, but we don't have anywhere to send it. Because now that China has instituted that green fence initiative where they don't take any of those recyclables to be shipped overseas, we don't have the processing facilities here in the United States to recycle that stuff. What we need to do is scale back to what I call a usable recycling program, where you recycle cardboard, you recycle.
We do that, you know.
Mixed off, yes, sir. I've already been
We're already
doing
doing that, and it would be hard to add another item to that
That's
thing, see, so we're almost set up for it.
That's right. Well, that's what Carl took me over and showed me the place.
Yeah.
It's really nice. That's what I'm saying. You guys are set better than most other communities in the South.
And with that transfer station, we are set right.
Yeah.
And I want you or whoever has it, I want it to stay like
Well,
that.
I promise you, if you want me to have that transfer station, I want that transfer station.
I
So
will.
you work out however I need to get it. We'll do that. That's as plain as I can make it.
That takes a little bit more work.
Yes. But as far as the contract, and one of the things I want to reference about the contract is we work with your attorney for the contract. We don't send you a contract and say, here's what you sign. We have some attorneys in Macon that are very versed in solid waste contracts. Matter of fact, we retain the attorneys that wrote that Crisp County Solid Waste Authority contract. So we got people who know about solid waste stuff. And we work hand in hand with the communities that we service with the requirements. And what I do is before I ever start talking contracts with our attorney, I take our proposal to them. Here's what I promise these people. Here's what's got to be in that contract. And that's the way I do business.
Well, see, just like with Mr. Johnson down there initiating this conversation, we've been through a lot in this business, as he's explained to you.
Yes, sir.
And with that facility where we have bailed and held on our cardboard and the other materials out there, and then with that transfer station, we're set up. I want, in my mind, I want it to be sort of a turnkey thing with the whole process.
Sure.
And we got to have the county involved as well. So I think we need a little bit more study and work.
I got a question real quick.
All right.
We have some subdivisions that are billed for water, but do not get trash pickup. Is that a service you'd be willing to offer?
Absolutely.
It's like that's additional revenue.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that I want to also point out. There's some revenue opportunities in town right now that you're missing that would help with some of this general fund. And I sit on the Board of Education. I explained it to you when we met last time. I understand budgetary constraints. I mean, I know how hard it is to make ends meet on a budget when you got a governmental entity. I mean, there's just so much money you get, and that's it. And it don't go anywhere else. So anytime you can look for a way to make another revenue stream, that's a positive.
But then you don't have any, of course, that's all right, I understand, we have to discuss that, what you just said. But anytime, and we've got a lot of water accounts outside the corporate limits of our little town here, and anytime we have a water account out there, anything like additional garbage pickup can be done, but now there's a very limited amount of that. Do you have limb trucks and things in your, part of your assets that you use?
Well, I do have limb trucks, but we weren't talking about doing the yard waste. I think that's what Carl was gonna keep
Yeah, we're
on.
gonna keep the yard.
They're gonna keep the yard waste and do that themselves. And by doing that, that gives you some control over like storm cleanup and such like that. You don't wait on people to come in and do that kind of stuff. You got it handy here all the time. But those kind of, and I suggested this to several communities that we do business with, because we've got several that extend utilities outside the city limits, but they don't offer garbage service. Well, if you're in an enterprise fund like we're trying to set up for you guys, where we're making money and you're making a percentage of it, why not? I mean, you already got a billing for the water.
Well, see, this is one thing I'm gonna mention to the county commissioners next Tuesday night. The county commissioners could employ you as well.
Yes, sir.
Countywide. And they could do that by taking this fee that you've got monthly and multiplying it by 12 and adding it to the ad valorem tax bill, and then you can get your money, so that you can not only contract with us within the city limits of Hazelhurst with water, because we have water accounts where they are, but then you could contract with the county, and they could, at the beginning of the year, put it on the ad valorem tax bill.
Yes.
And that's something we need to, with the transfer station, and since the county and us are all involved in that transfer station, we've got to get those details worked out. Carl, you got something to put in it? My friend, you've worked hard on this thing.
Well, I mean, like I told you when I come here, I mean, I want to do what's right for the citizens of Hazelhurst.
I believe that.
And I think this is the right way to go.
But don't you think we need to clarify that?
Well, especially with the transfer station, you know, like I said, I know we own the land, but I didn't know how to contract with the transfer station. But there again, right now, the transfer station with him and the garbage pickup ain't no big issue, because once we sign the contract and he picks up the garbage, that garbage is, what he does with it is his business.
That has no bearing on the transfer station at all.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's the garbage
That
is
would
his
be
business.
ice cream on the
From
cake.
what I believe here too, and I mean, Bernice.
I think it's, go ahead.
I don't think I think the contract's run out on the transfer station. From when it was signed to now, I think it's run out anyway, we just continue to pay.
I don't think so, because when we looked into that fire, and who's gonna do the damages and all, I don't think so, but I'm not sure, here again. And, another thing, I think it's just, like I told you a minute ago, I think just as soon as we, in this council, supposed to get in this contract, which I think makes sense, that transfer station fixed to dump it, is that maybe the easiest way for it to happen, I don't know that.
Well, one of the things is I know is the big companies, their main focus is to feed their landfills. They're not going to get rid of anything that's feeding their landfill. If I was fortunate enough to get a vote tonight and get a contract, I'll bet you money, before I got home tonight, my phone would ring from a person from that company, because I still know a lot of them. And they would ask me, are you still going to use the transfer station? What can we do to make you help us keep that waste there? Because I've been in this business long enough to know that's what they want.
Well, see, what you did for us on that cleanup, that was commendable, and you helped us a lot. And I told you, we do appreciate that. And let me tell you something, I had a similar project, called the folks that we're dealing with now, those roll-offs. They put one down real close to where you put those down, and it stayed there 3 or 4 days. They charged me $300-something. So I know all about that.
Yes.
But, we've got to iron this mess out somehow.
Well, the thing is, you know, we have time to put contract in words where, however it needs to be done. I'm not one of those kind of people I'm not a pushy person. I just want to make sure, you know, I tell you what I don't like. I don't like coming in and making a presentation and somebody coming in behind me and say, oh, we can do it cheap. Well, I'm sure you can. You know what my prices are now. And those kind of things. But, you know, I'm here to be a partner with the city of Hazelhurst. If I don't trust you, I don't want to do business with you. And I hope you feel the same way with me. If y'all can't trust me, I don't want y'all to do business with me. And, you know, I feel like we've got a relationship here. I feel like we've got an opportunity here that will help the city of Hazelhurst, that will add to the tax base, that will bring jobs to the city of Hazelhurst. And I think it's a good thing.
Well, you've certainly been mighty nice to us already.
Well,
You
and
say that your attorneys will be in touch with our attorneys to be able to put a contract together
Yes, sir.
without one person doing it?
no, sir, we don't get in the middle of all that. What I do is, once I get the vote, I'll make a phone call. Our attorneys love it, Myers and Macon. I'll have them contact them, and they will hash out the contract terms, and then the council approves it. And what I do, like I said, I give them my proposal. I say, here's what I proposed. I want these covered in that contract. And then any other language that you ask to be in there, like, you know, like the office, absolutely we'll put it in there that we'll have an office in Hazelhurst. Any other thing like that, like, you know, the fixed rate for 5 years, absolutely we have that in there. is specified in the contract and
I'm
spelled
not
out.
as interested in you having an office in Hazelhurst as I'm interested in you operating a transfer station.
Listen, I hope that's where my office is, but,
You don't take a seat, all of the above.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm so concerned.
Yes, sir.
That's my interest.
Well, again, like I said, other people can come in and pick your trash up. I'm not saying I got the best thing in the world. We just do it different. And if you'll notice on the front of my PowerPoint, that's why I said we're a different kind of solid waste company. We're not the kind of people that come in and just, and I'll give you an example. I had a gentleman from Lumber City call me in Dublin because he saw our truck coming down from the prison in Alamo going toward the landfill in Telfair County. And he called me and asked me, he said, do you do front load business down there? I said, yes, sir, I do, but not that far yet. I said, I have some things working that hopefully I'll have them. That man is paying over $300 a month for an 8-yard dumpster one time a week. That's almost $13 a cubic yard. And he says he's got a price increase he said every 6 months, but what the corporate model is every 9 months. They push down these price increases that you have to push out to your customers every 9 months, regardless of whether you need a price increase or not. It's called EBITDA. They drive that EBITDA percentage. And that's all they worry about. Worry about stockholder shares and EBITDA percentages. I don't want to come in here and have a town hall meeting in this place right here with all these people raising sin because I've raised their prices every 9 months. I'm not going to do that. Because I have to pay bills too. I know how hard that is.
Right now, is this correct, Carl? Didn't Appleton County bring all of their material to our transfer station now?
That's just where whatever, the other company's picking up over there, they hadn't privatized their pickup yet. They are, and that's one of the other cities he's looking at getting
See
to.
that, that's the reason that would solve that problem, see if we can get that. Because right now, as I understand it, Appleton County is using it, transfer station.
And that's what my goal would be. In the transfer station, should we use it? What we would do is any out-of-county waste that comes in to that transfer station, there will be a host fee paid.
Well, we get one now.
Exactly, and that's what should happen. That way it should be.
Yeah, well, I'm really concerned about that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
my concern.
Sure. Well, like I said, this doesn't have anything to do with the other, and I know you guys get some calmness about the other situation, but in the event that you do want to vote, and you do want to go ahead and contract, and it's going to take a while, we got to get equipment in here, we got to do other things, because what we'll do is we'll buy your trucks, is what my proposal is. And it'll be a mutually agreed upon price. I'm not going to say, well, here's what I'm going to give you for your trucks and nothing, because Carl and I know a gentleman that works on trucks that we both trust, and I already told Carl, I want him to come down here and look at the trucks and tell me what they're worth. Because that way it's not my opinion, it's not Carl's opinion, it's a third party's opinion. And we get a fair price on it. And that'll also be a little, that'll be a bump to the general fund there. And, help, offset some costs that you guys may be incurring too. So, but like I said, we got plenty of time to work out the details on what's going on, when it's going on. Once we get the vote, then we can start working on the meat and potatoes of it. And that's what I need to say. But I'm at the pleasure of council, whatever council wants to do, that's what I want to do.
Gentlemen?
I think we can take and come to a point to vote and everything on it no later than next Thursday. I don't see the reason, or the meeting is next Thursday, right?
Yes, Monday.
I don't, and Monday.
Monday,
we have a
work session.
Monday's a work session. I mean, if we had everything worked out, but you said you want to meet with,
We can run it by the county commissioner, see Tuesday
yeah, I
over
mean,
there.
but the thing about it, and like I said, the landfill's not gonna take in, but they want trash out there. They're not gonna tell you, we don't want your trash, I can promise you that.
I'll bet you this, from what I already know in working with it, as soon as he gets this thing to the city, it's gonna be a different thing out there. There's folks, it's
They'll
market.
start to dance.
That's right.
That's good, yeah. Give them something.
Okay, I'm game. I sort of like your idea. I think maybe we could, Madam Attorney, can you look at our contract with that group and see where we are? Would you have that ready by next Thursday? Before next Thursday?
Yeah.
Next Monday. Yeah, try to have it ready Monday when we come here so we know what we're talking about.
And is it a county commissioner meeting Tuesday?
Yes, this coming Tuesday.
If you would speak to them before, and I don't want to insert myself somewhere I'm not wanted, but I'd be glad to come and talk with them as well Tuesday if you would like me to.
I don't know that you can get in on it. The itinerary is pretty well set, but I'll tell you what you ought to do. knowing what we're trying to work out, and since you already part of the family, you better get over there and get with Keith Carter and begin to, have you talked to him?
No, sir, have not.
He's the county administrator, you better meet him right away.
Okay, I'll give him a call in the morning. I always like to come in and eat lunch, hey,
Yeah, get ahold of him and I'll talk to him too.
Okay.
And then we'll be there next Tuesday and maybe we can get something going there. And then again, of course, this garbage pickup in countywide Jeff Davis is a nasty issue.
Yes, sir.
I guess you know that. But I'm not so sure if they see where they put it on the ad valorem tax and get a commission, they're like us, they need some money too.
Yes, sir.
And I think you might have something to present to them.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing that they need to realize is the cost that they have involved now with this green box system is ridiculous. You know, the abuses, because as other counties around you go away from that green box system, you bring out of county waste in here and they're paying for that disposal.
See, they can do a partial year, that they'll work out, and then when the ad valorem tax bill goes out, you put on the ad valorem tax, and boy, that makes a big difference.
Yep.
You got something you want to,
Yeah, they got the agenda ready.
Someone had asked me to contact Mr. Carter and to see if the city was on the agenda. And he said that we will be, and Sherry will be doing the agenda later this week. So they don't have the agenda set yet.
And that's this Tuesday?
No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow week.
The 14th.
14th, all right.
And so if I can get hold of them tomorrow and get on the agenda, I'll be more than happy to. And I'll be there to speak with you. Well, again, I want to thank y'all for the opportunity. I've enjoyed meeting with you guys and talking. I apologize again for bringing the bad weather with me, but maybe I
You
got
certainly did that.
maybe there's a rainbow outside afterwards. You know, that's the promise, and that's what we're looking for anyway. So, but thank you guys again. I appreciate what you do because I know, like I said, I serve on the Board of Education, and an elected official is a thankless job in most cases. So, thank y'all. I
Well, you
appreciate it.
present yourself well, and every time I've dealt with you, and you already are very accommodating, and I really like that. So I hope we can get all these details worked out, because then the revenue projection that Carl's given me, and you too, as we work, it looks mighty good to me. It looks
Yes.
like, I'd be a fool to be opposed to it.
Yes. Well, you know, a lot of times is you look at it from my standpoint, that's the business I'm in. You know, I can utilize my equipment in other places that you may not be able to utilize your equipment in. And so that way I can, you know, my cost for doing business in Hazelhurst is less than your cost for doing business in Hazelhurst.
That I don't like.
Well, you know, you can go out and start soliciting garbage accounts outside in the county and get in a roll-off business, that's all I can tell you.
You're not the garbage man there and there.
There you go.
We can make you that.
It's hard to wear a lot of hats.
Curiosity,
Yes, sir.
has nothing to do with the contract and garbage. What group are you on the board with?
I'm in the Dublin City School System.
Dublin City?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, my children, have one son who graduated from Dublin. He just finished his master's in public administration from the University of Georgia. And my daughter is a senior at Dublin High School this year. And she's on the softball team, and she just took her senior picture today, and I did cry like a baby, so.
The county's office over there is 375-66 on that. That'll get you straight to it.
Now we're 375-66, but he'll be called first thing in the morning.
If you want to
We
sell
certainly
it.
appreciate it. Gentlemen, do you have anything else you want to ask our buddy here? Mr. Johnson?
No, sir.
Mr. Johnson?
So good.
Mr. Johnson moves that we adjourn. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Griffin. Any opposed? All in favor say aye. Aye. Good evening.
Thank y'all, I appreciate you again.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, brother, good to see you. I hope that tree's on out at your house.
I do too.
I believe Carl's right.